Thank you for giving a word. So actually, I have no presentation because I'm too lazy. Just joking. My topic, or better to say, my food to thought is about sustainable development, like as a driver and economy. I called it as our whole Zoom session called, and as our all the process. So I prepared a bunch of sentences by bunch of subjective thoughts, some objective facts about overall sustainable development for you to think um, about the way how we can organize it properly, because sustainable development is actually a really huge bunch of theory, bunch of thoughts, bunch of processes, and sometimes they even argue with each other. So like we have to do something with that. We have to manage that, to organize it properly, to provide another step for our overall world community to be progressive, to be the like. So nowadays there are a wide spectrum of directions and concepts about modern economy, but it's considered that the most flexible and successful one describes sustainable development. Actually, this is not only about economy, but about environment and social. There are also three components that are considered to be general ones. However, they create four more development components, which are durable, equitable, viable, and in the center of itself, sustainable development. It's, for me, frankly speaking, strange to see words durable and equitable in one sentence, but anyway, it's a modern concept that states how to meet the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. I think everybody remembers that because it was said so many times that it's maybe obviously. So before describing the main ideas and ways of how sustainable development can improve our world, it's important to understand which economy can start to deal with these issues. First of all, it's obvious that there are a number of countries that are not up to sustainable development due to different serious factors like war, poverty, unstable economy, political issues, and so on. Sustainable development is a kind of concept that aims to stable already successful, kind of successful development through control, systems thinking, and accurate modeling of different variations of development. According to written above, there is no sense to discuss the sustainable development in Ukraine because of war. Or maybe it's not true, because sustainable development actually is only a tool, a set of theories, as I said earlier, that aim to raise standard of living. The problem is that in many countries, even USA, as I consider as maybe the most the most developed country in the world, but maybe it's not, it's only subjective thought, but anyway. And this country already standing on sustainable development way. At the state level, many of concept requirements are ignored, actually. The sense of sustainable development is distorted with lots of handy correlations, which totally ruin the genuine basics of the concept. For example, an easy example of Apple. Apple 13 demonstrated us a really small box of it, saying that this will reduce. Oh my God, somebody calls me. I'm so sorry. Saying that we reduced the package of iPhone, and now thus we reduced the amount of transportations, amount of CO2, amount of using plastic bags, amount of using maybe carton, and giving the huge percents, 20%, 15%. But actually, if we take that, it's Google. You can see because I blurred my. If we take this box, little box, and we open it, we see, oh, there is no power charge here. And maybe there are no headphones as iPhone used to place here. And what do? You go to the store and buy another power charger. And the thing is that earlier Apple should have for example, 2 planes with iPhones, with power chargers, with headphones or whatever, they're flying, which are flying, for example, from China to America. Now they need 3 planes, 2 with iPhones and 1 with power chargers and earphones. Do they actually care about ecology if they like reduced or how they say reduced the box, but they made more products, and they are encouraging us to buy more, to supply more? That's not about the concept of sustainable development. Another example is global hypocrisy on ecology and everything connected with it, as I said, as Apple did. And nowadays, in global economy prevails capitalism. Despite the range of successful concepts such as private property, freedom of enterprise, supply demand, there are also many problems such as inequality. One of the basics of sustainable development states about fight against poverty. And the most popular way of implementation of that concept are different benefits. For example, in the USA, a person can receive near $400 a week in average in unemployment benefit. The money on benefits are usually received through different types of taxation. One of the main successful economy indicators is GDP per capita and its stable growth. However, the era of unrestricted personal and GDP development may be coming to an end. Many people's quality of life may increase as a result of sustainable development, but it may also demand a reduction in resource usage. Here is the point: when economy faces with ecological and environmental problems, people consume more resources than nature can renew. So what sustainable development proposes? Control of the consumption for the benefit of future generations. Perfectly, it suggests to reduce the usage of non-recyclable materials, limit the supply of products which require non-renewable resources, or reduce demand on products through substitutes. The problem of this concept is that corporations found out how to make money on this, adjusting to rules of sustainable development. Now you can simply use worse materials, but leave the same price under the edges of ecology. Sustainable development requires a balance between economy, ecology, and social factor. But analyzing the situation in the world, I can boldly state that economic factor still dominates, mercilessly using ecology and overlapping already broad people needs and wants. That's all from me. I'm waiting for your questions.
Thank you. Any questions, ideas?
Yeah, ideas better to say, yeah.
Okay, anyway, for future, I just like a suggestion, you can think about sustainable development not like a tool, but a framework. And again, I come back to my point from the previous presentation that it's not like somebody who push us to make all these purchases, that we like individuals has a power. And if we will say, okay, you have the perfect iPhone, but we're not going to buy it, it will work. We still have this power, we just don't want to use it very often, not always.
This iPhone dies in a year, and you are like supposed to buy a new one, because Apple cares about buying, encouraging you buy a new one than making a last one more stable, more like more straight, more good, so you could have this in 5 years. Actually, they did it as it was era of 6 iPhone, 7 iPhone, which are work perfectly nowadays. But for some reason, they changed their sense, their like, I have no idea. They changed the sense of selling goods. They like switch it to selling more, so people could supply more, could consume more, and encouraging also factories to gather more resources to like produce or to to make new iPhones. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's really connected with all the all the steps of industry, because for iPhones also used cartons, so cutting more trees, making more plastic for like a little thing that you have to like to put out and throw it away.
But as soon as we give them this power to be so fascinated by their goods, so we can change these things. And actually,
for sure,
Black Friday, if it's not Blackout Friday, yeah. So
that's why I'm here. I'm not an outlet, which I wanted to do. Like.
Okay, so now we have, thank you if anyone want to join our discussion. I know that it can be endless. Okay, so thanks, Oleksii, for your support and presentation. So